So basically, one night I get a call from my friend and he goes, "Yo, bro, have you heard this rumor? Like, apparently this guy's died." And I was like, "No way," because both of us were friends with this guy. I said, "No, that's no way. That's bullshit. I don't believe it." I had no idea. I went to sleep that night really happy, but the next morning I woke up and I saw the news and my friend had died. And the first thing I did was I dropped a tear. But the second thing I did was I called one of my really good friends. And immediately I started I was like, "Oh, have you seen this? Can you believe it?" And I was like, "Why? Like, why has this happened? This is not fair." And I cried on call. It was like at least a 1 hour call. I broke down in tears and she was there just comforting me. And I realized that female friends can really be helpful. Like, in my mind, I could have called a guy and that probably still would have been all right. But I feel like I was more comfortable talking to one of my female friends about this topic. Like, in my opinion, I think girls are a lot more emotionally, mature. And I ended up feeling so much better after that call. It really comforted me. I think it's really important to make some female friends, but there's some shit that you need to know. And there's some really important things that I've learned over the course of me being friends with a lot of girls. Because back in the day, I would be friends with just as many girls as guys. And this really I think this gave me a really unfair advantage in life, that I understood the way people worked better. And I want to share some of the things I learned because they're really interesting and they'll really help you. But before I get into that, click the subscribe button and there's a link in the description. You can go follow me on Instagram. So basically, there was this girl who I was friends with and I hadn't seen her for a while. We hadn't been super close. We used to call every day, but for 6 months we didn't really talk that much, only the occasional text. And one night, I actually accidentally bumped into her. And at first, I tried to set her up with my friend, but she said, "Oh, I'm not really interested." And then it started getting a little bit touchy between me and her. And for some context, in hindsight, I think we really liked each other, but nothing ever happened. We just became good friends. But this night, she was like really touchy with me, and we were inside this venue, and we walked outside, and we were getting some fresh air. But we were talking for like 15 minutes, and I thought that there was something there. But she told me that she actually had a boyfriend. And in my mind, I was like, how are you being this touchy with me if you have a boyfriend? Basically, some people would consider that cheating. And yeah, pretty fucked up. I didn't know at all. But I ended up meeting up with her the next day, and she ended up leaving pretty early. Like, she came and hung out with me for 2 hours and left. I think we were planning to meet up for a bit longer than that, hang out on that night. But I feel like there was something going on in her mind. Like, she felt guilty. It was probably about her boyfriend. And I realized something about 6 months later. Because this girl, for some more context, I used to call her, I used to tell her everything. But after a while, she stopped responding to any of my messages, fully ghosted me, basically. And one night, I just randomly tried to call her, and she sent me this message. She said, "I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's all right for us to talk. Like, I'm in a committed relationship now. I wish you all the best, but it's not respectful for me to talk to you." And she unadded me. I've not spoken to her since. And what I've learned from this is that even though I was super close friends with her, even though there was nothing really that needed to be there, I didn't hit on her. I didn't mean to try and do anything with her. I was just having a laugh. I in fact literally tried to introduce her to one of my friends because I thought she was one of my good friends. Basically, this person who I'd spent all this time hanging out with, all this time calling, completely cut me off. And that's when I learned that a lot of girls won't be super loyal to you. A lot of guys won't be super loyal to you, but more specifically girls, there's that gender barrier. And I realized that you kind of need male friends because there's this saying, it's like bros over hoes. And there's a reason that so many people say that. It's because you're going to talk to girls, things like feelings are going to come up, and you're probably going to have friendships with girls that are going to end for some reason. But your boys will always be there. That's why there's the quote there. And I completely agree. And I realized something throughout this course of this friendship, that she was all right with just like never talking to me again. Like she was probably a bit upset about it, but she did it anyways. And I learned that if you spend that much time getting super close with a guy who's just as high of quality as a person, there's a way higher chance that the girl doesn't stay friends with you. You know, for whatever reason, feelings come up. Like that's usually the most common reason female-male relationships end. It's because like feelings come up with somebody and then it just makes everything weird. It fucks it all up. But in my experience, the guy friends who I've spent that much time talking to, they're still super close to me. I still hang out with them all the time. I still call them. They would never ghost me. They would never do that. And so something I learned and I really want to emphasize is that you need to have super close guy friends, and you can't put all your energy, like I think you should really be friends with girls, but you can't put all your energy into it. You need to prioritize your super close male friends. I think it's really important to have a same gender, super close amount of friends. You know, I just said something bad about like how girls might not be loyal, but I want to share something that is good about like female relationships. I want to share a story. So back in the day, every day from school, I'd come home, I'd go to the gym, and as soon as I'd get home, there was these 3 girls that I was good friends with, and I would call one of the 3 every single day. Honestly, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was ridiculously happy with life. I would get home from school, I'd go to the gym in a good mood, chat with some girls for a few hours, and you know, nothing was going on between me and them, sexually or whatever. But I noticed this really good effect of me being on a phone call with these girls all the time. It's that over the weekends, whenever I would go out, it was actually really easy to talk to new girls, meet new people, because I was already so used to talking to girls. Most guys aren't used to talking to girls that much, but I was, because I was always on the phone with one of them. And it really, really helped me. And in fact, I don't think any guy my age, because at this time I was ridiculously young, I was like 14, I found it so easy to talk to girls, but there was a lot of guys who I saw always struggling with this. And I really encourage, like, if there's a girl in your school you've known a long time, like, there's no reason to not get closer friends with her. I think it's really good to be close with girls. And in fact, I want to share another story. You know, in the first story, this is kind of similar to the first story, but I want to really emphasize this point. Whenever I would have a bad day or a bad experience, there was this one girl in specific who, yeah, she was a good person. And I would call her literally whenever I had a problem. I would text her all day, let her know everything. And she's basically my therapist. She helped me through so many like tough challenges that I've had. She's still one of my really close friends. And it really hammered down this point that if you're really close with girls, they do stuff for you that most guys wouldn't, like sit on a phone call with you for hours talking about your problems. From my personal experience, I don't know that many guys who get on phone calls. In fact, when I call a guy friend, most of the time they're like, oh, wait, yeah, what do you want? It's like a 1-minute phone call. And this was just one of my other points. I think it's really important to be friendly with girls. I hope you enjoyed the video, bro. Click the subscribe button and my Instagram. You can click the link in the description and follow me there. Hope you have a great day, bro.